You know, there's some stories that's really relatable with a lot of people, and there's some things that people can't relate to at all. And there's one thing about me I know people can't relate to, and that was, well, not all people, some people can. But, you know, I was raised on a dairy farm, and my dad would dig these things. They were like 6 feet deep and 6 feet wide, and the cows, when they come in the barn to be milked, they'd poop, you know. And he would take all the poop and he would push it outside into these things that we called shit pits. That was the 6 feet wide, 6 feet deep pit. And over time, the shit pits would get hard on the top, a little hard on the top, and squishy in the middle still. And I was, I don't know, you know, all different ages, but 9 years old, 8 years old, 7 years old. And Sean was my age. So Sean was always at my house, or I was always at his house. He's my uncle, in case you don't know. I'm 3 months older than my uncle because my mama and my grandma were pregnant at the same time. You know. But anyway, so he was always at the farm too. And when you have a shit pit, and there's a game called Truth or Dare, and you've got 2 kids that are completely unsupervised, nobody ever knew where we were. At any time, nobody ever knew where we were. Nobody cared where we were, though. We always had matches, though, and stuff. We could have taken care of ourselves with a peanut-shaped knife and some matches. Sometimes some other oddities we'd have in our pockets, but any which way, that's not the point. So there was these shit pits, and like I said, they'd kind of get hard on the top. So, you know, we would be like, ooh, I dare you to ride your bicycle across the shit pit, you know, and you get about halfway through, and it would start sinking. Sometimes you could get out, sometimes you couldn't. I lost my favorite pair of cowboy boots in the shit pit because I was sinking, and Sean couldn't pull me out, so he had to go get my dad, and my dad had to pull me out, and he pulled me right out of my boots. Somewhere on some property in Loudon, Tennessee, about 4 feet under the ground, is a pair of red cowboy boots, buried, along with probably a couple of bicycles, some toys. Hell, there's no telling what's out there. Pants, because you pull your pants off pulling, you know, if somebody had to pull you out of the shit pit. It's kind of like quicksand. And you know, like in our time, quicksand was like a big to-do, so, you know, we always pretended like it was quicksand. But sometimes you'd go in the shit pit, halfway through, you'd run across, and you could make it. You might sink up to your knees and get out. Sometimes you'd get to your hips and get out, but once you got anything much above the hips, you had to get some help. I don't know how we didn't suffocate and die in cow shit. All it would have took was just 5 minutes longer to get some help, and one of us would have drowned it in that, because we were nowhere near 6 feet tall. And not one person said, hey, I'm going to beat your ass if you get back in that shit pit. Nobody said that. We would get in the silos. We did everything wrong. Everything possible. And nobody even knew, because nobody cared. Nobody cared where we were at any time. It was an awesome childhood. Awesome childhood. But I will forever love the smell of cow poop. I will always love it. I love driving through, like, farm areas where I can smell cow poop. Oh, I love it. Always will. You know, and dried cow poop, you know, you make Frisbees out of it. Oh, we had the best childhood stories.